Unit 1. Listening.
I've been practicing Irish dancing in my free time for a few years now. It's a traditional type of dance which comes from Ireland, although it's practiced all over the world. It's particularly popular in countries like the UK and the United States, where there are many people with Irish backgrounds. Thanks to shows like Riverdance and films like Titanic, Irish dancing has also attracted interest in countries like China, Russia and France, where I live. I first got into Irish dancing after I saw a show in a local theatre, but I'd never heard of it before my mum bought us the tickets. I really didn't know what to expect, but I loved the folk music and the footwork of the dancers. The band were playing old-fashioned instruments like the accordion and the violin, and I loved their energetic tunes. Meanwhile, the dancers were just as impressive. They wore beautiful, brightly coloured costumes, which were a mixture of traditional and modern. After that show, I knew I wanted to be an Irish dancer. I talked about it all the way home, and my mum was delighted. She encouraged me to take it up, and she found out about some Irish dancing classes for beginners in our town. The classes were in a local dance studio, and surprisingly, the teachers were French. I'd expected to have Irish instructors, but it didn't matter. They'd been dancing for many years, and they were experts in lots of different dances. I was surprised by how hard it was at the beginning. I thought I would just be learning how to jump and hop on one foot in time to the music. However, it was more physically demanding than I expected, and my legs would ache for days after the classes. A lot of the steps were also more complicated than they looked, and I found it hard to remember even the most basic ones. I realised that discipline was going to be essential in order to improve. So apart from going to classes, I would spend at least half an hour every day practicing the steps. Once you've learnt the basics, like being able to count the steps and keeping your back perfectly straight, Irish dancing gets really interesting. All the dancing groups try to create original dance routines, so we spend a lot of our time discussing and trying out new steps. In fact, we're working on a show at the moment which will include 15 different dance routines. This is very time-consuming because we spend a lot of time working out the dances as well as practicing them. We're all very excited though because we'll be performing our show at a folk music festival next spring. Apart from putting on shows, we also enter competitions from time to time. Although there aren't many in my part of France, there are competitions all over Europe, which means we occasionally get to travel. For example, last year we took part in the European Championships in the south of Spain. That was a great experience because there were some amazing performers. We didn't do very well, but it didn't matter because we had such a good time. We saw some fantastic dancing and we made lots of new friends from many different countries. In my opinion, there are many good reasons to take up Irish dancing. Firstly, it's a very sociable activity and it's a great way to meet new people. Secondly, all that energetic dancing helps you keep fit, so you don't need to do any other exercise. Another advantage is that it teaches you the importance of self-discipline. Lastly, it's a very creative activity because once you know the steps, you can develop your own routines. I'd recommend it to anyone who's interested in taking up a new free time activity.